Hey guys, itaewon Sammy here, coming to you live from Korea. King of Gangnam Sammy. All right, what are we going to talk about today? Things I hate about working in Korea. How many we're going to get out? Let's see how many, because I'm just doing this off the top of my head. I am not writing this down because this is just things that I have found over my 13 years living here, working here, what I find frustrating. I'm just like, ugh, I want to just like bang my head against the wall. Before we get into it, again, thank you everyone for watching, liking, commenting, everyone who's doing it. I'm so happy. All my new followers, all my new subscribers, thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. When people say they really like what I'm doing. If you don't like what I'm doing, tell me so that I can make the change, okay? I can't get better if all I get are positive results. I need you to tell me what you would like me to do or what you would like me to change, okay? I'm doing this for fun, but if I can help someone, I'm more than happy to do it. So please, like, subscribe, share, comment. Thank you so much. Anyway, things that I hate about working in Korea. Number one, last minute. Now, I'm doing this because I'm a teacher, but it happens across all industries. And I'm going to talk at the end of why this all happens. And I've learned why, okay? Because again, I've been here for so long. Number one, you show up at work, oh, the schedule's changed. So everything you planned is out the door and you got to do something completely different. For me, it doesn't bother me because I have a lot of teaching experience. So when I go into the job that I'm working at in the afternoons, it happens all the time. Oh, schedule's changed, or you got to do this, you got to do that. I can just pick up like that and just teach a lesson. It's not that big of a deal. And they're not a very structured school. So it's not that big of a deal. But other people find that a big problem, showing up and just like, oh, nobody told me, like last minute, like, thanks for telling me. Didn't you know about this? Yeah, but that's doesn't work like that. Number two, what's the other thing that I don't like? You're never given a definitive answer. Koreans do not like to say no. So they will say maybe or let me think about it. Okay, they will never say no to you. So you can ask and ask and ask and you won't get an answer. That is cultural. It's let's see or maybe. Let me think about it. Let me get back to you. They will never give you bad news also. They will never give you bad news. Even if you ask, they won't give you bad news. I don't like that. Number three. Sticking to the schedule. Like, they will work very hard and work extra. But if you want to leave like 5 minutes, all your work is done, and you want to leave 5 minutes before your end time, they'll be like I've been called out on that. So these days I've negotiated in my contracts that if I'm finished my work, I'm leaving. I'm not sitting desk warming or sitting around just to get paid. I'm paid a salary for my experience, not for my time. Okay, if I can finish my work and I'm done, I don't need to sit around. Okay, that's I've negotiated that in my contract. Again, because the only reason I get that is because I've got so much experience. Like at my first school, the job finishes at 2:20. I'm out the door at 2:10. Everybody knows it. And the only reason for that was because I had to get to my other job in time. And I negotiated that at the very beginning. And the reason is because it takes a few minutes for the kids to get ready. So the boss said, that's no problem. You can leave while the teacher gets the kids ready. So, yeah. What are we on? Number three? Number three, communication. This goes back to they won't tell you bad news. management doesn't communicate to subordinates. So the subordinates don't communicate to the workers. So for example, we don't know when vacation is. We don't know what the schedule is. We don't know anything until almost the last minute. Yeah, that happens a lot, especially in the schools. That happens a lot. Again, luckily I work in a school that's pretty good. I haven't had any problems, or anything that does happen, I just let it wash over me. It doesn't, I'm like, oh, whatever, I don't really care. Number 4. What is the other thing that I don't find? There is, oh, I had a whole list, and I don't write these things down, so it's all up here. So number 4, so we talked about communication. Oh. Now you tell me if this has happened to you. If you're living in Korea and this has happened to you, please post a comment below and give us an example. Never, ever, ever, ever tell your coworker anything personal. They'll be all nice and happy here in front of you, but the second they're on their little Kakao group chat with the other Korean teachers and they're talking your business to everyone. I have so many examples on my Facebook group that I belong to about one teacher said, oh yeah, I told my co-teacher I'm going home for the holidays, and then I get a call from the management saying I can't leave Korea because of COVID. And how did they know? Because I didn't tell them. Well, I only told my co-teacher, and she must have told them. So never tell, because they will gossip. They will, 100%. 100% gossip. They will. Don't tell your personal business. Which guy you went out with, how drunk you got. Don't tell your business to anyone. Don't tell your business to anyone, especially a coworker. Don't ever tell your business to a coworker. They will tell. They will tell. That was number 5. Number 6, and then, well, the next one. Sorry, I should be marking these down. Sorry. I'm just in a good mood today. It's Sunday, I'm relaxing. I finished all my work, played a video game, watched a movie. I'm just chilling out and having a good time. So the next one, number 6 or number 7, is having to take your contract to your boss to show them that, you know, they owe you something. Now, I can see how it's not the boss's job to remember everyone's contract, but they should have a copy of it. I mean, it's just me, right? I know the contracts I have with, because I run another company. I know the contracts, right? So I make it a point of knowing when the contracts start and end, and I have it in the calendar. So I don't understand how others don't do it. But again, that's not the most important thing to them. The most important thing to them is generating revenue, okay? But having to take my contract and go, oh, by the way, you know, you owe me this, right? I mean, the last job I finished at, they were like, yeah, you know, we don't owe you that. And I'm like, yeah, here's the contract, you know, because they thought they were paying me it was severance. They owed me severance pay, one month pay if I finished 1-year contract. And when I said, you know, can I expect that with the next paycheck? And then they said, well, you don't get that because we paid you this amount. I said, no. You didn't pay me that amount. You paid me this amount. So you paid me less. And they were like, oh. So they sent me, because they sent me a contract, and they said, this is the, you know, they didn't send me my contract. They sent me a screenshot of something, of a general contract. They said, that's not my contract. My contract is this. And they're like, oh, okay, then yes, you do get that. Then with my current job, they didn't pay me my first 2 weeks. I kind of let that slide because it's in the contract saying that they are going to hold it back till the end of the contract. It's illegal, but I let it slide in the beginning just to get in there, right? And then I became a good teacher, and everybody loved me, and blah blah blah. So about 3 or 4 months in, I sent a message. I said, by the way, I was checking my records, and it looks like I didn't get paid for my first 2 weeks. I played it off like that I hadn't checked, right? I said, can you please update me on that? And then they said, oh, in the contract it says we pay it at the end of the term. I said, I understand the contract, but unfortunately that's not legal. I said, unfortunately, Korean labor law states that I have to get paid within 30 days of finishing the last day of that schedule. So, can you please forward that to me on this day? I'm expecting it. I would like it in this calendar year, not next calendar year, because it's taxable on this calendar year. But I just gave some bull. They said, no problem, done. Then the next one, number 8, is I talked about the work ethic, but sometimes the expectations are a little bit too high. Like, for example, I said I was going to come in to do some paperwork. I said I was going to come in at 11. And I didn't get there till like 11:15, 11:30, and they're like, oh, you're late. I'm like, late for what? I'm just going to be sitting at my desk doing paperwork. Like, oh, well, you promised to come at 11. I'm like, I promised to come in and do the paperwork. I said I'll be here at 11. Like, I'm still going to get the paperwork done. So I'll finish it. And their mind is like, okay, you said you're going to be here at 11, start at 11. Like, my mind is, I'm a salaried employee. I'm going to finish the work, whether it takes me 1 hour or 10 hours, I'll be doing it. But that's not the way they think. They think solely on the hours, not the product, the productivity. It's been noted in many research papers that Korea is one of the lowest productivity countries in the OKED. But they work the longest hours. One of the longest hours. So the hours worked versus the productivity doesn't match up. And that's true. I've seen it in offices. The workers are there at 7 o'clock in the morning and they're till like 10 at night. And they're just not talking. They're just chatting in their group chats or anything. They're not surfing the internet. They're doing, they're not working. They're just sitting at their desks. It's very sad because they want to be there before the boss and they want to leave after the boss. It doesn't happen a lot in the more modern companies, but it does happen. I've seen it. Because I'll go to the offices to teach conversational English to executives, and they will do this at like 6 or 7 in the morning. And I'm there at like 7 at their office, and there's staff in the office. I'm like, I'm a salaried employee. I finish my job. I do a good day's work, and then I'm done. So that's one thing that personally drives me insane, that I will never change. The other thing I hate, number 9, I guess. I don't hate this. But the hierarchy. And it's not a hate thing. I grew up in a Western world where everyone's treated equally. I used to call my CEO by his first name when I worked at Bell Canada. I met him many, many times. I was flown out to the office to talk to him specifically about a proposal that I had. Flew me out from Toronto to Montreal, spent the night, talked about this new product and how I sold it. So, calling him by his first name. Here, you have to call, them owner, CEO, director, director Kim, CEO Kim, manager Lee, stuff like that. I don't have a problem with that. That's the culture here. I'll do it. What I don't like is how I'm treated. And this is going to sound weird, but I'm treated with respect. And I don't like it because it makes me look bad with my peers because I'm treated differently because I'm older. Everyone knows it. First question people will ask you is your birthday and your blood type, or what school you went to. Always ask you those 3 questions. I'm asked, how old am I? Blood type I'm not always asked, sometimes, depending on the person. And I'm asked what degrees I have. Not school I went to, what degrees I have. So, the age thing. I'm older than everyone. I'm older than all my bosses. So I am given a level of respect. Parents all know how old I am. Everyone knows how old I am. So they treat me much differently. And I just had a conversation with my coworkers about this last week. We were having a team meeting and we were doing some paperwork, and they were all complaining. I just casually asked, are you coming back? Renewing your contract? And they were all like, nope, I'm leaving, and I'm leaving, because they don't like the director. And I'm like, if I wasn't retiring, I would have stayed another year. I would stay one more year. And they're like, how do you like it here? And I'm like, I guess she leaves me alone. Like, she doesn't talk to me. She doesn't say anything to me. Now, I don't do anything, I do my job, but I really feel bad for you guys because, like, I don't know why she treats me like that. She really leaves me alone. I don't cause trouble. I don't give her a reason to, but I'm pretty sure that, she would come and say something to me if she, constructive criticism. But again, because I'm a really good worker, I do my job, the kids love me, the parents love me, and I think one of the main things is she knows I could just walk out because of my visa. Everyone else, their visa is tied to the job. They can't quit, right? And my age, I'm way older than her. I'm maybe 15 years older than her. So, parents, my gosh, some of these parents, I'm the same age as their parents. They all know it. And when they meet me, they're just like, and for those of you who don't know, in less than a month, I will be 53 years old. I was born in 1968, Christmas Day. So, in Korean, that makes me 54 or 55. Yeah, 55 in Korean age. Your first day you're born, you're 1 year old, and on January 1st, you're 2 years old. So when I was 2 months old, 1 month old, I was 2 years old under Korean style. So anyway, I'm 54, 55 years old Korean age. So I'm the same age as their parents. Okay, the parents, right? So yeah, that causes a lot of problems. So last thing, number 10, I think, number 9, number 10. One thing I really don't like is the expectation. Korea's a pali culture, or fast, now. So everything is done like now. It has to be finished now. And you're only given a short amount of time to do it. And it goes back to, like, the first thing is there's no preparation or communication. It all ties in is that, oh, by the way, I need this, today. Like, this will take me like 4 hours to do. Like, why didn't you? I need it today. This is, but they're a very strong economy, and they're because they are a strong economy because of what they do. So something's got to be working. The reason behind all of this, the things I don't like, it's cultural. I grew up in a Western world, in a different business world, where you say what you mean. There's no tomfoolery, for a better word. There's no playing games or anything. It's just you say what you mean. You mean what you say. You schedule, you plan, and you coordinate. You communicate. That's the way it works. Culturally, Korea is a slightly different system. Why? Because of the military. Everyone goes through the military. It's a militaristic style structure to their corporations. The hierarchy, the patriarchal society, etc., etc. Those are all ingrained in their culture, so it transforms into their business world as well, into their lives. So those are probably the reasons why. So I'll leave it at that. 10 things that I hate about Korea. itaewon Sammy, King of Gangnam, Gangnam Sammy. I'm out.